It's Knitting in the Meantime, chapter 14. 14. I know it's 14. I'm not worried. How you doing? I hope you guys are all doing well. I am working on Jerry's sweater. I'm actually at the first sleeve. Yeah. Kind of powering through all this stuff and trying to get it done, because now, instead of doing the next sweater to be Harper sweater, it's going to be Willow's. So yeah, we had issues with Willow this week. Willow kept let me take those off. Willow had a bad day Tuesday. It went from it being a tantrum to just turning into a complete meltdown. And so she was actually in the bus, and it just became a situation where I thought it wasn't safe for her to ride the bus. So I was trying to get her out of the bus so that way she could, stay at home, kind of calm down. Sometimes I actually drive her to school later when she's calmed down some. But she was just, took a while for her to just calm down. And so she just ended up staying with me. And in fact, Jerry ended up having to come home early from work. So, yeah. But she's okay. I think she's having like an allergic reaction to something, because she keeps getting these hives. And at some point she had them, first she had them on her face, and now she's like starting to have them in her body. So, a friend of mine was like, did you even like try to give her allergy medicine? And I think last night we gave her some Zyrtec before she went to bed. She has been very quiet and just very shut down, and I was concerned that maybe it might be something I guess more behavior wise, that something at school. So anyways, it turns out that this morning when she woke up, it was like night and day. She was calm, she was talking, she wasn't yelling all kinds of crazy things. So we'll definitely do that. Keep giving her allergy medicine, and maybe she's developing an allergy to something. I don't know what, but something. But she has a doctor's appointment next week, so I'm definitely going to ask the doctor to refer us to an allergist. And I know they're going to send me to Orlando. In case you don't know and you're new here, welcome. Hi, I'm Chris. Yeah. I live, it's called, they refer to this area as North Orlando, but it's very far away from Orlando. It's like 30 minutes from Orlando, like a 30-minute drive without traffic. So, but yeah, hoping it's just something silly and nothing major, because we eliminated a couple of things that we thought might be it, and the hives came back and in a different place in her body, which I thought that maybe it was the laundry detergent, because we just recently switched um, laundry detergents, and I thought that maybe that's what it was, but I guess it wasn't, because I don't know. So I'm wearing the lipstick that matches the yarn. What do you think? It matches? Wait, does it match? I think it does. Fun. Just for fun. Just for fun, because why not? It's been a hard week, and I literally just spend about 3 hours cleaning the floors. And I was like, you know what? Let me do this real quick. Maybe sit down and knit for a couple of minutes and record this video. Maybe I'll get to put it up and have some fun. Have some fun, because, I think we could all use some fun. Hold on. I'm trying to keep my notes because I'm doing sleeves now. And I have to decrease, and I'm trying to make sure that I'm counting all of my rows, so I have the sleeves are the same, and that I decrease in the same places, so they look kind of sort of the same. Yeah, it's not a big science experiment or anything, but it kind of feels like it sometimes. Scary stuff. So yeah, I hope you guys are doing good. Like I said, it was rough, and then Wednesday morning I had a message from one of my friends that said, "Hey, I heard about your daughter," and she goes like, did you even realize that there was a full moon?" I was just like, "No, I did not." Thanks. I kind of feel like all these weather apps and just like calendar apps should have a notification for this kind of stuff, because then you know to expect the crazy. That would be like one of those days where like you're like, okay, this is an extra coffee kind of day, or this is a have a glass of wine kind of day at the end of the day. And I'm kind of proud of myself, because I didn't have a glass of wine. I just basically just went like, you know what? My head's starting to hurt. I'm going to bed. I had woken up already with a headache that day, and then the whole thing with Willow, honestly, it was just a lot. And I couldn't do anything, and it was more about planning things and whatnot, and not doing anything fun or stress related, or stress relief kind of activity day or anything like that. Because usually if I'm not knitting, I'm stress cleaning. That's what I do. I stress clean. I go around the house like a crazy person, and I just clean. It's like I hate doing the floors, but It's white shiny tile. I have no choice. It's terrible. It's like you sneeze and it's like you have to clean it afterwards. There's always like some kind of stain on the floor. My kids like to do they like um doing art projects and such, and so there's always like paint that lands on the floor, and then you kind of have to like remove the paint because it's not a dark floor, so it shows. Not to mention all the times that I've tripped over a dog and spilled my coffee on the floor, which happens more often than that you can imagine. Honestly, it's one of those things where I always wonder: are they doing it on purpose? I think they are. And then they look at you with the sad puppy eyes. But I love you. It's always a fun time. Oh my god, speaking of ridiculous stories, because I haven't told you one in a while. And I'm aware that I haven't told any ridiculous stories. So my neighbor comes over. First of all, this lady moved into the house next door. I think it was like a year before the pandemic. Now, I saw her I used to see her every morning when she first moved in because, of course, I was in the middle of taking kids to school. And my kids go to school at 3 different times. Like Willow gets picked up at 6:20. Harper gets picked up like around 7:40, and Cora gets picked up at like 9:05. So I'm like usually around those times, like coming in and out of the house, and it's like most people see me, but they don't really get to talk to me because I'm in and out. So, anyways, I saw this neighbor. I kept seeing her before the pandemic, obviously, and I would say hi to her and whatnot. But then the pandemic hit, of course. And since then, I've only seen her like 6 times, if that. So, anyways, she comes over the one day and she's telling me that she is having a guy come over to her home to do a quote because she wants to replace the fence. Like, great. Good for you. And then she said, it's just that your fence is connected to my fence. Like the side door that opens into my backyard, according to her, is connected to her fence. She's like, I can have the guy come over here and give you a quote so that way you guys can fix that. Okay. And then she says, because you have those banana trees in your backyard and they're making my fence lean. And this is where I just kind of went like, no. Let me explain something. When my parents, who are the owners they own this house, we live here and we pay for everything that deals with the house. When my parents lived here, code enforcement had been called to that house because their fence kept falling over into our backyard. And I'm thinking to myself, really? Really, lady? So, of course, she's talking about the banana trees and whatever. At this point, the banana trees were actually holding up her fence, not making it lean. And if you look at the fence is not leaning where my banana trees were at. Jerry and I talked it over. We went ahead. Because the thing with banana trees, and if you don't know this, I'm about to educate you in this. Okay, so banana trees, after they give you bananas, the plant dies. Yeah, it dies. It has to be cut off. So the thing is that banana trees, there's not a seed. What there is like you plant one banana plant, and then as it grows, you see these little baby plants around it. And that you can actually like dig it up and replant, and you'll have more banana plants. So we started out with one that we planted when we first moved in, which was in 2016. At some point, I think we had 15 or 20. So whenever they would produce bananas, we would just, as soon as we got the bananas, we would cut it down. They don't really, they literally die after that. They don't last very long after that. But this lady made it her mission to disown the banana plants. So Jerry, obviously, he went ahead and cut down the banana plants, all of them. He cut them all. But don't freak out, environmental people. Don't freak out. There's 2 baby plants on the ground. We're gonna probably dig them out and replant them somewhere else in our backyard. So while she's talking to me and mentioning my banana plants and all of that, this was like 2 days after I had found out that that little girl in our family had passed away, and I was a complete mess. Okay, I was like, you know, emotional. You'll be proud of me because I did not tell this person off. I wanted to. Trust me, I wanted to. But honestly, I just did not have it in me. So I said, okay. And she's like, so on Wednesday, this guy's going to come over and I'll send him your way so that way he can give you like, what's it called? An estimate to get that stuff taken care of. To get the door part taken care of. Okay. Well, at what time on Wednesday? Because I'm going to a funeral. And she was like, I don't know. And I'm like, okay, well, I have to go to this funeral. Listen, I was gonna go to that funeral even if I was dying. This is a child. It was a child, and it was a child with special needs. I wanted to be there for her mom, who is part of my extended family. And I'm telling this lady, like, I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna be here. Sorry. Priorities, in life, priorities. So, Jerry bought this gigantic trash can because we have like on Wednesdays, the trash people come over and they pick up yard waste. So The so the banana trees have been on, like, he cut them and they've just been laying there because we had a hard freeze like 2 weeks ago, I think, something like that. So we cut them the day before, so it actually killed pretty much everything. And the only reason why we still have baby banana plants is because the bigger banana plants were covering them, and therefore they did not die. So Jerry bought this this humongous trash can. I'm not kidding. This thing is huge. I think you could fit a bear in it. That's how big it is. This thing is massive. Um, so he went ahead and put the um so he picked up all the banana trees, and we're talking about like 10 to 15 banana trees, and these were big banana trees. They were already mature. Some of them had actually bananas on them. So we're just like, okay. So he took the banana he took the banana plants and put them in this trash can, right? I mean, this thing, I should have taken a picture and I didn't think of it. This thing was like, it just looked like this really weird thing. This huge trash can, and then all the banana trees in it. And of course, I'm looking at it going like, oh my God. Like, I don't know if she saw it or not, but it I kept looking out the window, looking at the stupid trash can with all the banana trees in it, and just going like, okay, if this is not like a message to our neighbor, I don't know what is. And I guess it didn't help that I was watching The Nightmare Next Door on Investigation Discovery. Yes, I'm not sponsored. I'm just saying it because I was watching it when the lady came over, and it just like, as she kept talking, all I kept thinking about was like, I'm gonna end up in this stupid series. Lord, hear me, protect me from the crazies. It was so hilarious, I swear. But anyways, that's my little ridiculous story. I know it's not super ridiculous, but you can only imagine the look on my face. I'm sorry, what? Excuse me? So yeah. Oh yeah. I know what you're thinking. The dogs are not being loud. They're taking a nappy nap. I gave them treats. I said, if you're quiet for mommy, you can have these treats. They weren't scared. I wasn't wearing the green lipstick then. Just doing it for fun. And yes, after I'm done recording this video, I'm gonna go take it off. Thank you very much. Carrie and my sister Carrie. I talk about a lot about my sister Carrie. If you're new here, just so you know, she's my sister. She's also my bestie. Um, yeah. So they're coming over this weekend. Instead of us going over there to her house, they're coming over here. I'm making homemade pizza. And because I said I would, I am going to give you my pizza dough recipe. You can, if you like, get a pen, or just, I'll try to put it down in the description box. I'm actually getting very good at doing that, putting things on the description box. I'm slowly learning, you know, I'm trainable. All right. You will need 3 cups of warm water. If you have one of those meat thermometers, measure that is not hotter than, Jesus. If you have a meat thermometer, measure with the meat thermometer the temperature no higher than 110 degrees. If it's 110 degrees, it's too hot, okay? So you want it kind of like room temperature, but just a little bit above room temperature. You will need 3 tablespoons of active dry yeast. I buy this in bulk because I make bread. When we run out of When we run out of bread, I make bread. So we buy it in bulk. Okay. You take those things, you have to make a decision here at this point. What kind of sweetener do you use? Do you use sugar, like white sugar, brown sugar, honey, agave? This is your choice. It's a 1/4 cup that you will need. You will add it to the water, mix it, and then you add your yeast. Give it a little stir. Walk away for a couple minutes. Let it bubble. Once it's bubbled, you will take 5 cups of all-purpose flour. Put it in a bowl, or if you have one of those fancy mixers, you can put it in the mixer. And then I'm going to put it down now because I have to finish this before I go. I have more stuff to do. So anyways, so you will add the water that has the yeast that has bubbled up a little bit. You will add that to 5 cups of all-purpose flour. I've made this with gluten-free flour. Make sure you check the ratio for the gluten-free flour, because some of it is cup by cup and some of it is not. So you want to make sure you check that before you spend the money, because usually gluten-free flour tends to be a little bit more pricey than all-purpose. Okay, so you add it together. Take a spoon, preferably a wooden spoon. I don't know why, just trust me on this. So mix it all together. Yes, it's gonna look like a wet dough. It's gonna look like a wet dough. It's wet, okay? Once you mix it completely and it's completely combined, just stop. Cover it. You could do a kitchen towel. Just let it hang out for about 20 to 30 minutes. It needs to double in size. And you will know. So if you keep it in a place where it's like warm and dry, it'll take about 15 to 20 minutes. But if you leave it in, for example, like in your kitchen and it's not hot and dry, it's going to take a little bit longer, about 30 minutes. Now, if it's doubled in size at that point, you're halfway there. So at this point, you will add 1 teaspoon of salt. I use kosher salt. That's my preference. 2, no, 3 tablespoons of oil. And you can use olive oil. It gives it like a sweet flavor. You can use vegetable oil, whatever oil you like. 3 tablespoons of that. Then you have to add more sweetener. And then 2 cups of flour. Mix that together. Mix it all together. And once it's all mixed together, you have a choice at this point. You can add extra flavor to your pizza dough by combining the following. You can use dry herbs like rosemary and things like that, or you can use we like doing the honey garlic, so I usually will use honey as a sweetener, and then I will turn around and put like a tablespoon, or like a tablespoon and a half of garlic powder into it, which gives it more flavor, but not so much. And then I would add some Parmesan cheese to the crust. And if I'm going to add Parmesan cheese to the crust, then I would actually cut down on the salt that I add to it, because Parmesan cheese is salty and you don't need the extra salt. You have the choice of controlling the salt content. So yeah, we're gonna keep on mixing it. If you have, I use my mixer. It has a dough attachment, and I just let it go. And as it's going, after I start to make what's it called, kneading the dough, I will add extra flour to it, and I usually try to do it in 1/4 of a cup increments, and that has to do with like the humidity in the air. Sometimes your dough is too dry, so if it's too dry, you'll see that the amount of flour is less. If it's really humid, you'll see that the amount of flour tends to be more. So in total, you should expect to use at least 7 cups of flour, so you can plan ahead if you plan on doing it. After you're done kneading the dough, take a big all-purpose bowl. Make sure you put some oil on it, and then you transfer the dough from mixer to this bowl. Make sure that the dough is covered in oil. And by that I mean, like, because you put the oil in the bowl, and then you can take your hand and kind of coat the bowl. And essentially that's what you want to do. You don't want to add a lot of extra oil. So once you put the dough in the bowl, haha, just flip it and you're good. Cover it, let it hang out. Sometimes if you're having issues with your dough rising, if you have like an exhaust in your kitchen and it has a light on it, just put it under there. It's not going to create too much heat, but it's also not going to dry out your dough, and it's perfect, and it helps with the rising. Some ovens have a bread proofer. I know mine does. You can just stick it in the oven with the light on, and that works perfectly as well. And it actually doesn't take that long. Again, it has to do more with like the environment. So after your first rise, and you will see it, it will literally like almost fall off the bowl because it's so big. You kind of whack it so it goes down. And out of this, first of all, out of this, you can get easily 5 medium size pizzas, but you don't have to use them all at the same time. And this is the greatest thing I love about this recipe. You can always put the leftover, whatever you don't use, you could put it in the freezer. It holds really good for about 6 months in the freezer. So you will always have it. So you can always make it, stick it in the freezer, and use it whenever. You just have to let it thaw out like overnight. But if you do that, make sure that you knead the dough before you use it. So add a little bit of flour, knead it a little bit, just kind of get it to room temperature and whatnot, and then you're able to use it. And it is delicious because it's flavored. You can add whatever flavor you want to the dough, so you make it your own. But that is basically the basic recipe. It's not brain surgery. I actually took a bread recipe and adapted it so you can make the pizza like, you know, like pan pizza, or you can make it thin, like the thin crust pizza. It will crunch up and it's really tasty, and you can add all kinds of things and whatnot. So I figure I share that with you guys because I'm gonna be making pizza on Saturday. Because I invited I invited my sister over and my parents, and we're gonna have pizza for lunch. So yeah, that's the reason why I remembered. Yay! Speaking of knitting, I'm on the sleeve. I have a sleeve. Really? I haven't weaved in the ends, but I definitely have a sleeve. It's coming along. It's like every time I have to take a break, I have to take breaks when I'm doing, like, when I'm stress cleaning, because otherwise my ankle will swell. And so I have to sit down for like 30 minutes, and that way I can, you know, rest, get off my leg, and yeah. And I worked on my rad vent, and honestly, it's the only thing I've been doing. Well, actually, no, that's not true. We'll get to that. But yeah, I am about 10 rows from casting on for the body. I'm not gonna lie, this is a fun knit. I just have to put it down a lot, and unfortunately that doesn't work for me sometimes. It just never I have a lot of stuff that's always going on, and I always have to put things down. This is why I use the Knit Companion app, because I'm able to mark my stuff and know what I did, so that way I don't have to worry about losing a piece of paper. Around here, yeah, you lose a paper. I cast on and I worked on the second sock for my brother-in-law. It's not bad. Doesn't match my lipstick though. Bummer. But yeah, I worked on this. We had a knit and chat type thing not that long ago. I think it was like last week. Maybe. Was it last week? It was last week, I think. I can't remember that far back. So anyways, yeah, we were doing that, and we did that. It was really fun, and it's it's a very small group. It's not like there's not 20 people in the room just talking at the same time or anything like that. But it's hilarious because someone scared someone, and it just like it was like in the blink of an eye, and it was just so hilarious. I tell you, life, man, life is funny and ridiculous, isn't it? Yes, yes, it is. But I think that's all I got. I didn't. I was gonna wait until next week, but Jerry got me some new stuff for Valentine's Day, so I figure I'd try it out. I'm not recording on my phone or on my laptop. I know. Y'all going like, what? Yeah, I was just as shocked. Don't worry. We'll see how this works out. But I should be able to edit a little bit better. I literally sat there for God knows how long watching YouTube videos about how to edit. And we'll see if I actually learned something this time around. Hopefully it works. It works! So I did like a to test it out because I'm an idiot and I need to have some fun. Listen, you have to learn to laugh at yourself, and sometimes things just happen, and you just gotta. If you learn to make fun of your own self and just laugh at the stupid stuff that you do, sometimes it's just better. Like I was stressing over editing and all this stuff, and I'm just thinking to myself, it looks so simple on YouTube. Why is it that it didn't work for me? And then I realized what happened. It was the dumbest thing in the world, and I should have known better. I've sat there and watched video upon video upon video on how to edit, and I knew how to do it. And I just knew it. I knew how to do it. How, yeah. Apparently, when I did it last time, my device needed to update. So it gave me an error message. Normal people would just be like, let me just quickly update, do the update. No, not me. No. I was like, no, try again. And it deleted everything that I had done. I didn't realize until after I had uploaded everything. I thought it was okay, but it wasn't. Hey man, life happens. So anyways, hopefully this time around it works. And I'm gonna try to put some captions in it and do some cool stuff. Make myself feel a little bit better. Because I spend an entire day just watching YouTube videos on how to edit. It's time to put this stuff into practice, and let's see what I can come up with. Hopefully good stuff. Hopefully good stuff. Anyways, seeing as my break is over and I need coffee, I'm gonna let you guys resume the rest of your day. I love you and I appreciate you. And don't forget to tell people that I love you and I appreciate you. Because how would they know if you don't tell them? Well, I guess you can text them. That's what I do sometimes. And yeah. Probably not gonna wear a matching lipstick for the next sweater, although I do have a purple one. And yes, Willow chose the color purple for her main color for her sweater. So I might do that just for fun. If it made you laugh, if it made you smile, then you know what? I've done my job. now I get to go and spray bathrooms and clean the bathroom. Because if I don't do it today, I'm going to have to do it tomorrow. And I would like to get some knitting time tomorrow. Anyways, have a good week. Good rest of your week. Good weekend. If you didn't watch the Super Bowl halftime show, you should. It was fun. I loved it. It had a lot of people that I listened to, so I was very happy. Yeah, I'm gonna go now. I promise. I'm very excited to try out my new stuff. So, anyways, I love you and I appreciate you. Have a good